This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
There are now 19 related deaths here in Indiana, the new numbers that show where the state stands amid the pandemic. And tonight we are learning about a pop-up testing location that anyone can go to. We'll show you where it's happening and what you need to know before you go. And life-saving surgeries don't stop because of COVID-19. We find out how hospitals are keeping other patients safe.
We are getting ready here to be seeing the peak, I think, in the next few weeks. So it's game time at this point.
And we talked to a doctor about what one local hospital is seeing so far, how COVID-19 is impacting operations, and what they expect from here on out. Good evening. I'm Amanda Starantino at the RTV6 studio.
And I'm Mark Mullins, broadcasting from my home. We are putting social distancing practices into place as we do our part to stop the spread of COVID-19. And first at 6 o'clock tonight, Indiana sees its largest increase in COVID-19 related deaths since the pandemic started. The State Department of Health says 14 more people have died. A total of 49 Hoosiers have now died from the coronavirus. There are also 373 new positive cases of COVID-19. So 2,159 people in Indiana have tested positive. More than 13,300 people have now been tested for COVID-19. Let's take a deeper look into the COVID-19 numbers now. The state says people 80 and older make up nearly 39% of the deaths in Indiana, 59% involving people between 50 and 79 years old. Then 2% of the deaths, these are in people ages 30 to 39. None of the other age groups have any deaths, and that includes people 29 years old and younger, and no one in their 40s has died. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen there, far more men are dying from COVID-19 than women in Indiana. Well, tonight RTV6 is learning of a pop-up COVID-19 testing site for the public happening in Indianapolis.
A local doctor is working with a private lab to make the test possible. Call 6 Chief Investigator Rafael Sanchez reports.
On Wednesday, Dr. Dorian Kenley will provide drive-through COVID-19 screenings to the public in Indianapolis. He has a contract with Texas-based AIT Labs to perform the tests. Results are back within 48 hours. The doctor charges a $100 flat fee for the drive-through exam. He expects insurance or Medicaid, Medicare to pay for the lab tests. We spoke via FaceTime.
You are going into the neighborhood and you're saying, I will test you. So that's not happening anywhere else that I can see.
The reason I suspect that is not happening is because a lot of the testing capacity that we had initially was coming through the state health department, through those agencies. What I did was I contracted with a private lab company who can get me test kits quickly.
The doctor ran his first drive-through on Saturday. He plans to expand his services throughout the city. I spoke to the Indiana State Department of Health, and they want to remind all Hoosiers that COVID-19 tests must be ordered by a physician, and those tests must be processed by an FDA-certified lab. Working for you, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
Well, RTV6 spoke to AIT Labs. Their spokesperson says they'll be waiting to get FDA approval. So for now, their tests are being processed by Thermo Fisher. Thermo Fisher is an FDA-approved organization. Well, by the way, the local testing site is set up for tomorrow. We want to pass that along. It goes from 10 to 5 at 1400 East 12th Street. Rafael Sanchez will have much more on this developing story tomorrow on Good Morning Indiana.
We could lose more lives because we're unable to transplant.
Life-saving surgeries won't stop, even though doctors and nurses already have much on their plates treating those diagnosed with COVID-19. RTV6's Troy Washington is working for you to explain how hospitals and donor networks are working together to keep recipients safe during this pandemic.
Richard Waltman reached out to RTV6 with questions about whether he'll stay on track to get the heart and kidney transplant he needs as Indiana tries to slow the spread of the coronavirus.
I'm just worried about what this does to the hospital's transplant programs.
The federal government has classified organ transplants as essential non-elective surgery, so that means those awaiting a transplant should not worry. Since the scenario is new, recipients awaiting a donor have questions.
I know a couple people that have had transplants that are going up there all the time to have biopsies done and everything, and I hope they can still do that too. I'm not just worried about myself.
RTV6 reached out to the Indiana Donor Network to answer some of Waltman's questions.
We certainly don't want to pass on a virus to someone who is immunosuppressed as a recipient. That is a very, very dangerous thing. And so we're really looking out for those recipients.
Steve Johnson is the network's chief operating officer. He says they've partnered with state hospitals and the Indiana State Health Department to make sure donors are tested for the virus.
They have helped the hospitals as well as our teams be able to get that testing done right away and get that over to them for them to be able to process and get back to us. Because as you can understand, we don't want there to be more casualties associated with the COVID-19 than there have to be.
Especially since time is of the essence when it comes to the transplant process. Recipients waiting for a transplant know that once they get a call about a match, it's not long before the procedure takes place. That's why it's key to get donors tested quickly and get the results returned quicker. Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
And we reached out to Ascension St. Vincent, and they tell us that they've modified their post-transplant process to include virtual consultations to continue their care uninterrupted. They're also monitoring those on the donor recipient list virtually in an effort to keep them from coming in contact with the virus.
As the number of COVID-19 cases continues to rise, we are working to find out how local hospitals are responding. Megan Sanctorum explains what one doctor at IU Health says they are seeing so far and how you're staying at home is having a big impact.
Certainly seeing a lot more COVID patients over the last even few days.
Dr. Beeler is just one of the doctors here at IU Health caring for patients and getting ready for new ones.
We are getting ready here to be seeing the peak, I think, in the next few weeks. So it's game time at this point.
He says they're keeping a close eye on supplies. At this point, they have enough gowns, gloves, and masks to meet the need. As far as ICU beds go, Dr. Beeler says they're still doing okay, but they are filling up pretty quickly. In order to meet the growing need, the hospital is adding more.
We are adding ICU-capable rooms as time goes on in order to make sure that we can meet the growing demand for not only ventilators, but very close nursing care and attention to patients who are critically ill.
He thinks they've been able to keep up thanks to actions of people in the community.
I think that we've been really lucky so far because I can really tell that people are trying to stay home. They're avoiding clustering together. Keep that good work up.
And when the peak hits, he thinks they will be able to handle it.
We are getting some modeling together that looks like we should be able to meet this surge and have enough resources to get through it.
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
And we are working to find out how other hospitals in our area are doing on supplies. We will let you know when we hear back.
The Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department and the Indianapolis Fire Department and the Marion County Sheriff's Office have all had multiple employees test positive for the coronavirus. IMPD says 12 officers have tested positive for COVID-19. Those officers are self-quarantined at their home, and they're being monitored for any additional symptoms. The Indianapolis Fire Department says 12 firefighters have tested positive for the virus. Those firefighters are in home quarantine and will not return to work until they have been medically cleared by a doctor. The Marion County Sheriff's Office is also reporting confirmed cases, 5 of them among its employees. No inmates have tested positive for COVID-19.
Unemployment claims are increasing due to business and factory closings in the last couple of weeks due to coronavirus. Plus, many restaurants and stores are scaling back their workforce. We have received questions about who qualifies for unemployment benefits, so we are answering them tonight. The Indiana Department of Workforce Development has told us every Hoosier who's out of work due to no fault of their own is eligible to apply for unemployment benefits. That includes those who have been impacted by a temporary layoff due to COVID-19. So the Department of Workforce Development says those who are quarantined and can't go to work or those who have to stay at home due to school closings can get unemployment benefits.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, we want to let you know about an agency that's hiring right now. The Indiana Department of Transportation has announced a virtual job fair in which more than 1,000 construction and related positions will be available. The virtual job fair will begin at 10 in the morning on Thursday, April 16th. You do not need to register for it. We have a link on how to do that on our website, theindychannel.com. Let me clarify. You do need to register for this, and we have a link for that on our website, theindychannel.com. You'll just want to look for this story. There are other places hiring during the coronavirus pandemic. We have those listed at hiringhoosiers.com. Plus, that's where you'll also find a section to ask questions about jobs and employment during the outbreak. Again, that's all for you at hiringhoosiers.com. It is one of the best slices in the Circle City, but it's a big adjustment to a new way of doing things at King Dough Pizza. Coming up, find out how they're working together to keep up with the high demand.
Hiring Hoosiers, only on RTV6.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Well, many pizza restaurants continue doing strong takeout and delivery business, even as the number of restaurant options have dwindled.
And one of the newest spots on the Indianapolis pizza scene is working hard to keep up with the demand. Brad Brown takes us inside.
Just on the eastern edge of downtown, Adam Sweet is making some of Indy's best pizza.
I think that the fact that we do offer something that's maybe a bit more high-end, basically take the food seriously, but nothing else about ourselves. So people feel pretty comfortable when they come in and hang out.
King Dough has only been here a little more than a year, but they've already become a mainstay on this block.
Being a pizza shop is just in our DNA to be a carry-out friendly place. So we benefit from that big time. But yeah, and also just being kind of tucked into a neighborhood already. We already have a built-in customer base.
That oven in the back corner, imported from Italy. The huge flame inside, it's helping the King Dough dough turn out the perfect combo of crispy and chewy.
Kind of like Neapolitan pizzas are like the umbrella that we fall under, but we definitely do it our own way, kind of a more Midwestern style. So ours are not 10, they're 14 inches. We cook them a little bit longer so they have some more bite and crunch to them.
Even though their dining room is closed on a busy Friday, the crew is firing on all cylinders.
Whenever it's all hitting the fan, we all just stick to our spot and just kind of assembly line it. I'm always the guy who's pressing out the dough and everything, just because I've been doing it for a long time. I'm pretty fast. So it's just keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. We have one person who, their position is literally they just sit at that table with the phones, one after the other. It's the next, their calls are lined up. We're learning as we go right now. So mostly people have been awesome.
The patio waits for warmer weather and the crowds that are sure to return.
Let's flatten this curve a little bit so we can get back to, a place where we can open our doors to everybody and, take care of you the way that we want to take care of you. But until then, come inside, wash your hands, and we're going to feed you as much food as we possibly can.
Until then, King Dough will continue to be one of the hottest to-go boxes in the city. Working for you, Brad Brown, RTV6.
Brad, that had my mouth watering. Love King Dough. And King Dough also has salads, wings, meatballs, and more on the menu. You can call to order or find them on most of the major delivery services. They're open until 9 p.m. every night. And it's our mission to make sure you know what's still open around Indianapolis. We call it We're Open Indy. Just go to our website, theindychannel.com. When you're there, you'll see an entire list of restaurants and other businesses that are still open to serve you.
Pizza does sound good tonight, doesn't it? Hey, working for you now with a warning about a scam related to COVID-19. Tonight, the Federal Bureau of Investigation is telling you to beware of scams related to the coronavirus pandemic. The FBI issued an alert that phone calls, texts, or emails asking for your personal or financial information in order to get the $1,200 federal stimulus payment are not legitimate. You can report fraud by filing a report with the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. We have a link to the complaint center in this story on our website, theindychannel.com, and at the RTV6 app.
You don't need me to tell you this. It's colder than yesterday. Exactly 15 degrees colder in the metro area. Temperatures tomorrow will start to go the other way as we recover, but this is the coldest day of the week. 42, you factor in a north wind at 14. It feels like the 30s. Wind chill temperature has been right around 36 degrees. All that gray cloud cover producing a few very light showers as you go into Boone County, but more Madison County up I-69 toward Fort Wayne. These are some sprinkles or very light showers. Again, moving in a weird direction, though, just because of the circulation around the weather system from the northeast to southwest, and could have a couple sprinkles. I know many of you working from home and you're getting help from your pets. Well, Sammy is a big help, literally and figuratively. Sammy the Great Dane. Tony Milburn sending in the picture. Thanks for doing that. If you get out and walk around the yard or the neighborhood, temperatures feel colder than the 40s, so wear a heavy coat. Let's talk about tomorrow. 52 degrees, still below average, but still dry. Then as we turn the page and get into Thursday, and by the way, tomorrow we open a brand new month. Temperatures will be above average, it looks like, for the entire month of April. Certainly the first couple of weeks will continue to trend above average. There's your Friday high at 65. During the day tomorrow, heavy coat in the morning. Temperatures in the afternoon at least reach the low 50s for a high. That's pretty true north to south and west to east. We'll battle the clouds. More clouds in the morning, a little more sunshine in the afternoon. You're good to mow if it's that time. I promise you'll hear the roar of the lawnmower before long in your neighborhood if it isn't your own. Temperature Thursday, 60 for the high. Friday will round out the work week, still dry, 65 degrees. The warmest temperature in my forecast is on the far right-hand side of your screen, 73 degrees. That is a week from today. But you also notice the other theme. It's not supposed to be heavy rain, but a daily chance for some showers Saturday through Tuesday of next week.
I'm Dave First. Another RTV6 senior salute for those spring high school athletes whose season hangs in the balance. Tonight we head to Indian Creek to meet Cierra Bowman. This track and field star brings speed and energy, a double threat. And more importantly, brings great leadership, boys and girls, to the Braves program. Track coach Brady Devine says Cierra is the kind of athlete who will be irreplaceable next spring. So a senior salute to Cierra. Let's keep them going. If you'd like to nominate a spring athlete, email me at dave.first@wrtv.com.
Keller and Keller.
Welcome back. Today's RTV6 photo of the day comes to us from Kyla Morgan in Peru, Indiana.
And she sent us this adorable picture of her dog, Millie.
Yeah, that's right. Kyla says that she was able to get out of the house, get some fresh air, and play some ball with Millie.
All right. We'll be back for the news at 7.